Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm out here in the shop working on the Jeep. I've been doing a lot of modifications to it. Try to catch everybody up real quick. The MP 241C transfer cases, I broke a few. If you watch the old videos, you'll see that. I decided to upgrade to the Behemoth Colossus MP 205 and much stronger transfer case, twin stick. I'll get into that in a minute, but I ran into some drive shaft clearance issues where the front yoke goes somewhere about right here. The transmission data plug, being a electronic shifted a 4L80 transmission, my front drive shaft was going to get into that data plug unless I clocked the transfer case down, which that's rolling the transfer case. It's got multiple bolt holes down far enough. Then it was throwing my drive shaft geometry all off and getting real close to my transmission pans. So I ended up putting a lot of people call them crawl box. They was called doublers for a long time. They used to be a 2-to-1 reduction. Anyhow, I ended up putting a reduction box in front of the transfer case. This would be the output shaft on the transmission, and this box goes in between the transmission and the transfer case. This one is a Eco box from Northwest Fab. It's a 2.72-to-1 gear reduction. Putting that on, let me grab it here. I had to switch input shafts on the Colossus transfer case, the Behemoth transfer case. Like I said, this is an output shaft out of a 4L80 transmission. This is the spline count that my Behemoth was, which would bolt straight up to this. It was set up to go behind a Ford 205 transfer case, which is a 31 spline. Means there's 31 teeth on this here output shaft. So I had to switch this to a 31 spline to match up to this reduction box. Well, set this up here. In the process of all of this, I found I had some bad shims. They wasn't the right shims up in this piece right here. Had a few metal shavings in it, what have you. Jordan had never ran this. He pulled this out of a rig that he had bought, and didn't really know much about it. Knew it was an old Behemoth. This is like generation 1. This is one of the first ones they'd come out with, and they've done a lot of upgrades since then. So let me grab the camera and get it off of the tripod here. Here is one of the major upgrades. These right here, as you can see, they're just pretty much fabricated out of some metal, welded together, what have you. Not a bad setup, better than the factory 205 setup, but this is the latest and greatest that they have. This is all CNC, much better setup all the way around. You get the kit, and it comes with all the bearings, the little detent springs, detent balls. It comes with everything. And since I was already in the transfer case, I figured, why not take this old stuff? This arm had been welded on because it had been messed up. I had to grind the weld off of it. There's been a lot of stuff. This old case has seen some miles, but I mean, it's still technically like new, but there was just some upgrades that needed to be done, so I gone ahead and did that. These, I can show you what these do. These pivot inside the transfer case, and they go on this. These slide inside there, and this is your shift ring. This slides in and locks to this, or it locks over here, depending on if you're engaged or disengaged into front wheel or rear wheel drive. And that is one of the benefits of this, is I can be rear wheel drive, front wheel drive, four wheel drive, and then this gives me another gear selection. So this transfer case has a 1.96 to 1 gear reduction. This has a 2.72 to 1 gear reduction, for it's right around 5.3 to 1 reduction combined together. But upgrading that, I got these shifters here with the transfer case, but you know, they've seen some miles and been modified to go in different rigs, so I ended up needing a third shifter anyway. This one's going to be for my gear reduction box. This one will be for my rear output on my transfer case, and this one's going to be for my front. That's the setup I'm going with. I've got my brackets. I ordered this bracket from Behemoth, and I made this one today for the reduction box. Got some more seals and some other things. Alright, it's the next night in the shop, and I've been out working all day in the heavy wrecker. I got the transfer case back together. Still got to silicone a few things, but it's pretty much ready to go. Got the shifters on it, which I'll have to come back off to go in, but got all the new shift linkage in the transfer case, new shift forks, but it's all back together, working good. Everything seems to be right, hopefully. I didn't video me putting this together because I'm not the guy to be learning from. That's like a jigsaw puzzle in there, and I hope I put it back together right. I think I did. I built a lot of them in the past, but yeah, I'm not the guy to be a how-to video on how to build a transfer case. But anyhow, it's back together. I'm going to try to get it put in. Tomorrow is Friday. I'm going to try to get it put in Friday or Saturday. I've already got the drive shafts built for it. I ordered these here from Adam's Drive Shaft, the matching flanges to go on the front and rear, which I have the one already on this drive shaft. Well, I was doing some double checking when I still had the case up there, but had Adam's Drive Shafts build me some double cardan 1410 shafts with the 1410 yokes on the other end and U-joints. I changed out the front and rear yokes on the axles to where now then it's a one U-joint fits the whole Jeep. I can carry one Spicer 1410 U-joint, and I've got a spare for my whole deal. But better than that is I moved my engine back just a hair, and now then my front drive shaft and my rear drive shaft are exactly the same length. I have matching front and rear drive shafts. So if I'm out doing a job or out horsing off, whatever, and I tear up the rear drive shaft, yes, I can disconnect it and drive home on front wheel drive, but it'd be a whole lot better to just yank the front drive shaft out, throw it in the back, and drive home like normal. I'd just be two-wheel drive. And that was my thoughts on that. It was worth a little bit of work that I went to move the engine to center everything up to where they'd be the same. I'll probably have a cheap shaft built, just a regular U-joint on each end. You know, these I spent a lot of money on these two drive shafts, so probably not going to go that route extreme right now. Just have a low dollar drive shaft built as a spare that I'll probably mount up under the frame somewhere, or you know, up in the frame rails. So if I do tear up a drive shaft, I will have four-wheel drive still to get me home because, hey, it works in the front and the rear. But that's where I'm at for right now. Hopefully this weekend, fingers crossed, I can get this Jeep out and do a test drive with it. But no guarantees there, but hopefully we'll see a test drive video on it shortly. And I appreciate everybody for watching, and till next time.